So I think that you're like an aspiring business person, right? So besides any past history, we don't have to go into that, right? But because you have a business mind. So what's stopping you from starting your own business?
The number one thing that stops me is knowing that I have a steady salary that I depend on to cover all of my expenses. So letting go of that steady income that I know I'm gonna get every 2 weeks, my check.
Certainty.
The certainty.
Certainty. So you're having a hard time letting go of that certainty to start your own business. So that's a really great reason to not jump into business, because there's a lot of different ways to go into business. You don't have to do it the way I did it, which was like I went cold turkey, right? I literally, I was planning my life, and then I quit my job, and then I started from Friday to Monday. So not everyone needs to do that. So it's a really great thing, because there's a certain amount of certainty that you need, but there is a certain amount of uncertainty that you have to be willing to live with if you're starting your own business. So starting your own business is like, it's the same idea as, going fishing, right? So you have to like fish for your own food. You know what I mean? Like all by your lonesome. So you eat what you catch, basically. Can you live? So the question is, can you live with a certain amount of uncertainty?
Yes, I can.
How much in terms of percentages could you live with uncertainty?
I'm not sure about a percentage, but are we still talking about the money part?
It's always about money. Like, yeah, you know what? I'm okay with talking about money. It's always about money.
Yeah, I can live probably with a little bit. I would say, I don't know, 20%, 30%.
Okay, so we were talking. Okay, so I meant like the uncertainty. Like, so you're like, in order for me to feel good about my life and what I'm doing, I need 100% certainty in my life. Those people should not go out into business. You know, when people are like, oh, you can do anything. No, we can't all do anything. We each have our limitations. So from a percentage point of like certainty, if you need 100% certainty in your life, going out in business is not your thing. You should consider, you can still be at the top of your game. And I also believe that you can still be the second hand to someone who is like the business owner, right? If you need that certain amount of certainty. If you need zero certainty to live your best life, those are the people, I feel like those are the people who are like living in the boats and the vans and the traveling. Like, I do not, like, that's not me either. So I need a certain amount of certainty, but I'm not on the extreme ends. Let me know if that makes sense. You can drop a comment. But like, so how much uncertainty?
I would say 50,
okay, so you're kind of like 50-50. I need to know something.
I've been on that side where I could do zero, but right now with the responsibilities that I have at hand,
sure, yeah,
I need to have some certainty.
You have to have some certainty. So that's really good. So then from that amount of certainty or uncertainty, I'm just trying to help you to think about it from an objective standpoint versus just like, oh, this is how I feel, right? You can still keep your day job, and then you have to consider what you're willing to sacrifice to do the night thing, the weekend thing, to then get yourself up to balancing out that dollar amount. So let's say you needed, so I'll this a little bit of what my parents did, right? So my parents both had their full-time jobs, right? Full-time job equals 2 paychecks. And then what they did was on the weekends they would go and sell in the flea market. And that's how we started out, right? So fast forward, that was like in the 80s and 90s. Fast forward to today, there's a lot of ways that we could start something at night and on weekends, and be able to start something that quote unquote is our own. And you can still have the certainty of your full-time gig and then start your side gig. And then once the money aspect changes, then you can say, oh, I'm willing to leave. So I left, let's just round up, I left a 100K job, my full-time salary. I said, you know what? I can live off of 50K and still be good, right? And that was my, like my bills, my whatever. I said, I can live off of that. And if I could live off of that, like anything else, like I can do anything else. So I took a full-time, I had my full-time job and I was willing to cut like cold turkey. Went down to like, I will live off of 50K if I have to. I will, like, to me, this is how brutal I have to say this shit to myself, because like, I don't know, I'm like so dense. But I'm like, I will eat shit for whatever I need to be able to get to where I want to go. I will eat shit and I would take a pay cut, right? That was what I was willing to live with. So you have to, if you're starting out and you don't want this like money aspect, the uncertainty of money to stop you from achieving your dreams and your goals, what are you willing to, you don't have to say the number, you don't even have to drop it below. You have to come up with a number that you're willing to live with, right? And that if you cut down to bare necessities or whatever, you're willing to live with. And so if you're willing to live with less, meaning like I need it more, like maybe I can go down to 80 versus you need more, right? So you might need to do more to keep more. We cannot be able to get everything all at the same time. You're gonna get things in different steps. So did I eventually make up and get back to 100K? And that's I did, but I had to be willing, I had to be willing for a certain amount of time. And these are actually very good, like these are true numbers, right? So I was willing to come down for a short period of time to learn certain skills, to work in a certain way. Like that first year that I was out in business, I could have done more. I just didn't know what to do. And so I became very comfortable making 50K, right? But if you're freaking hungry as shit because you got no one covering your ass, right? You'll be like, what hole do I need to burn to get myself to this other number? Does that make sense? So really the only thing stopping you is your belief in the certainty of yourself.
And it's not only that, it's not only the money, it's also dedicating the time to what it is that you want to do.
100%.
Because right now, even if I wouldn't take the cut and I would still work the hours that I work, I still have plenty of time to do what I need to do. I just don't do it.
Yeah, you have to put in the time. You have to put in the time. I didn't get here because I sat on my ass. I got here because it's funny. There's this saying. It's like everyone admires how you got there or what you have, but no one admires the work that you had to do to get to where you got to, right? Nobody admires the things that I said no to. Nobody admires the shit that I had to do to study on the weekends at night. No one had to deal with, like, no one admires all the uncertainty that I have, the doubts that I have, the feeling like shit. No one admires that.
Generally, what people think, the general consensus is, oh, she was lucky, she did something, and this is why she's there.
Yeah.
Nobody sees the struggle.
Oh yeah.
Everybody always sees, oh, how did she get there? She was lucky. She's got a gift. She's got this. She's got that, and they don't see that it was really because you went through all the steps that you have to go
The
through.
gift that I have is
tenacity.
Yeah. The gift that I have is like, I'm gonna bullshit my way through it, right? Like I'm gonna do it. Like, so yeah, like I attribute a lot of that stuff to just like my hard work, I guess, But if you're If you're thinking about it and you think the thing that's stopping you is the uncertainty, this is how I would break it down and say, okay, what do you need to have some more certainty? Does that make sense? Was that good?
Yes, it was awesome.
We're going to end there. And if you have any more comments and or questions, leave them below.